Hello. Is this on?
Yeah, here.
One of my professors in seminary once said that if you ask a rabbi to speak, it isn't like inviting a college professor. The rabbi has an obligation to represent the sacred words of tradition. Fortunately or unfortunately, I speak to you today, both as a rabbi and as someone who participated with Susan in the holy endeavor of making music. However, singing was not Susan's only holy project. In Judaism, we have a concept, tikkun olam, which means to repair the world. For most, this admonition means just to leave the world a better place. But Susan seemed to dedicate her whole life to taking these words literally and fixing the world's problems. 10 years ago, I compared Susan to the prophet Elijah and the still, small voice of conscience. Today I find Abraham, the father of 3 religions, to be the best comparison. Most clearly was when God or the divine spark that is in all of us, tells Abraham, go to a land that I will show you. Abraham does not wait. He does not let the fact that he does not know his destination, or if he will even reach the end of his journey, deter him in the slightest. He does not let fear slow him down. We are told that the very next morning, he saddles his donkey and sets out. Was he afraid? How could he not have been? But I've heard that courage is not being unafraid. It is being afraid, but persevering anyway. Susan was courageous. Once she knew the moral path, the holy path, she refused to let obstacles stand in her way. Her position might be unpopular, something Abraham was quite familiar with. After all, he was preaching monotheism in a polytheistic world. They both spent their lives tearing down idols. Susan was nothing if not an iconoclast. However, there is another part of Susan's biography that makes Abraham a particularly apt choice. The Talmud says that before Abraham and Sarah were commanded to leave their home, they operated a caravanserai. Please don't ask me how to say this in Hebrew. I have enough trouble saying it in English. They had an inn at a busy intersection where they would provide food, drink, lodging, and a place to feed animals to anyone, regardless of nationality, tribe, or belief. They would engage them in discussions about moral issues, about good and evil, and how to tell the difference. about the source of morality itself. If someone continued to disagree, no problem or hard feelings. They would go their way the next day. But those who agreed with them, particularly those whose beliefs they had changed, they were invited to return. And return they did. Peace Smith's, the coffee house that Susan ran, seemed not all that different. People would come together with some food and drink and be challenged. They would discuss politics, ethics, aesthetics, and maybe very occasionally religion. Very occasionally. There is a concept in Judaism that, quote, arguing for the sake of heaven is a blessing. And Jews have been arguing ever since.
No, they haven't.
Yes, they have. When two sides come together to argue over the true moral and holy path, then whatever the outcome, it can't be bad. I wonder how Susan would feel knowing that she provided blessings for many people. I suspect that the people who agreed with Abraham enjoyed coming back again and again, and I'd like to think it was the same at Susan's coffee house. The Jewish tradition of Hachnasat Orchim, hospitality to guests, was extremely important to Abraham, as it was wherever Susan lived and worked. They both lived lives in service to the greater good. Lastly, at one point, God tells Abraham that he will be a blessing to the nations. Susan, you too have been a blessing. One whose effects will continue to reverberate just as the ripples of a stone in the water grow and never end. Today, we are in the midst of the Jewish holiday of Sukkot. A time when Jews are supposed to live, or at least eat, in a flimsy temporary structure, exposed to the elements to remind us that we are part of something greater than ourselves. It is a tradition to invite guests to dine in the sukkah, but not only guests of flesh and blood, but spiritual guests that exemplify the best in humanity. The first night of Sukkot, I invited Abraham to be my spiritual guest. Tonight it will be Susan.
Thank you, Rabbi.
You're better than my congregation.